Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So it's that time of week again. It's our usual Friday night live. Um, I'm not streaming across multiple platforms today. I'm just streaming on YouTube, so you can come along, and if you're used to see me on other platforms tonight, you're not going to see me there, just on YouTube. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's keeping well. Let's see who comes in and says hello. So I'm looking forward to a busy weekend in the garden this weekend. It's been a long time since I've been able to have a good while in the garden, so I'm hoping that this weekend I can get some good time spent in the garden. CW, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. The man with the thumbs, hope everything's good with you. How was your allotment going, mate? So yeah, so I'm hoping for a really productive weekend this weekend. There's lots to do, lots and lots to do, and as usual, we're just going to be cracking on, trying to tidy up as much stuff as we can. Lots of things to be harvesting, lots of things to be tidying up, and hopefully get it into a bit more of get the garden into a bit more control. Over the last sort of 6 weeks, 2 months, I've really struggled to put time into the garden, and it's got a little bit out of hand. There's been structures that came down in last winter's storms, and like my bean frames and all of those sort of arches and stuff, and I never managed to get back up and get them fixed again. But I'm chipping away slowly. We're chipping away slowly. There's a couple of little bits that I've been managed to be able to get fixed back up. So there's a couple of wooden arches that I've made. There's a wooden trellis that I want to make, and hopefully I'll get that done. So Tom Wright, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. Weeds Galore, been busy with many other projects. I hope everything's all right. There's just not enough time in the day. Yeah, just really struggling for time. One of my mates has been wanting me to go and see him, and I keep setting dates, but I'm just struggling so badly with time. Yeah, I just want to get out and about a little bit, and just get on top of things as well. Little Farmer's Farm, Tony, how are you doing, bro? Thank you very much for coming in. Peace, bro. Hope all is good with you. You know that exactly, man. There's just not enough time. But losing light a lot sooner now. I know, Tom. It was just this evening I was doing. So I was splitting some wood, and I looked up and it's nearly sunset. Within a few minutes it's 7 o'clock now, just after 7 o'clock sunset, and by the end of this month the days are going to be even shorter, so we're going to be really struggling for going forward now. But there's still things to be doing. I mean, there's things, there's loads to be doing. I mean, I want to get in the next few weeks, I want to get my garlic planted. I want to get my beds mulched up. I'm hopefully getting a tow bar fitted on my car next week. And if I can get my tow bar fitted on my car next week, then that's it. I've got a trailer and I'm going manure gathering, and I'll be picking up a trailer full of manure. Ow, that hurt, buddy. Yeah. You just cracked me on my knee. Did you crack your knee as well? Yeah. Ooh, that hurt. Oh man. Paul Morris, can I ask why you want a battery operated chainsaw over a petrol? What do you want to do? So Paul, I'm getting a log burner fitted next month. So what I'll be doing, yes,
Baba, would you rather be Nyan Cat or have Moon Knight's powers?
I don't know either one of those. Yeah. What I want to be doing is I'm getting a log burner fitted next month. So I want to be cutting up wood. Wherever I find logs, I'm picking them up, bringing them home. So joists, big fat logs. I went to my uncle's allotment a few weeks ago, and I came back with a boot full of sort of 12-inch wide Leylandii logs. So I want to be chopping those up, drying them out, and then in the next few years using those as firewood. Also, there's little things, there's a massive, you've seen the massive sycamore tree at the bottom of my garden. I was thinking I was going to give that a little bit of a prune. See, I've got a little bit overconfident dealing with that roof. Now I just want to get up and do everything. So the reasons I want to go for petrol is, battery operated rather than petrol is batteries a little bit lighter. That's one of the big reasons. Petrol, a lot of them, I know when it comes to chainsaws, I just think the petrol ones are a little bit more dangerous. The battery ones sort of kick out a little bit quicker. There's some of the reasons. I don't want to be mixing petrol as well. I want to try and get away from mixing petrol. I've had one of those 5-in-1 multi-tools before, and that lasted me sort of 10 years. It gave me a really good solid innings. I gave it a good hammering as well, and I just got fed up of breathing in all that. Yeah, that nasty, all those nasty fumes. Put them down. Go and see everyone downstairs. I've been telling my mates about you and your channel, pal. Hope you're getting some good. Cheers, mate.
I remember one time they were asking.
You need to come over and bring the family sometime. You know that. Yes, buddy.
I remember one time in year 6.
Yeah.
And then when we were doing that switching class thing, Mr. Quark said that when you do a lot of heavy work and stuff, you get rough, your hands get rough.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened to my hands.
And then he asked us what our dads do, because they might do that stuff. And I told him that you were an accountant, but you have a gardening YouTube channel.
So that's why my hands are rough. My hands are like sandpaper at the minute.
Alright, it hurts. Alright, wait.
So
no one. Money on sandpaper.
Everyone's complaining about when I touch them because my hands are so rough at the moment.
Do it.
Tony from Simplified Gardening, brother, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Kato Family Farm, hope you're keeping well. Thank you very much for coming in. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Sarfraz, hope you're keeping well. Good YouTube guy, the Russian hacker, I think it's called, and he's reviewed electric chainsaws. See, I wasn't convinced by battery power, and I had a battery power a hedge trimmer. I mean, it's not a fancy make. What I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called. I've done a review on it, but it gives me a good. Even now, I've had it nearly a year, and it's still, I can cut most of the garden with it in one charge. So it's doing good. So there you go. There's a question from Tony. What seeds are you planting right now? Okay, go get your food. Graham, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Close that door. Give that door a good close. Ribs are doing all right. It's just one rib right on the bottom on this side. I was in the gym today, and it was just when I was lifting something a little bit heavy, it was just hurting a little bit. But apart from that, it's not giving me a massive amount of trouble. It's just when I'm doing something or I suddenly bend to one side, that's when you just have to take a sudden breath. But apart from that, it's not giving me a massive amount of trouble. Blue Self-Reliance, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Totally jaded. Glad you made it to the first live. Hope you've been binge watching my older videos. I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying them. Some of the older videos, they weren't made as well, but there's still loads of information in there, and hopefully we'll get to remaking some of them and making them a little bit better. Mimi Susu, thank you very much for coming in. My ribs are doing all right. I'm doing all right. It's not too bad, It's not too bad. I've tom plants in greenhouse and outside. Will the toms still turn red at this point? As long as the tomatoes are mature, if they're in the greenhouse, they'll still do well. I've still got tomatoes inside and out, and I see them on the cusp of turning, and I'm going to leave them a bit longer. Any sign of blight, that's the only thing that I'm going to watch out for. If there's any sign of blight, then they're coming in. So after your video tour, now need the Japanese onions. Yeah, the Japanese onions are wicked. So they're the ones that I want to be sowing as well this month. But I'm gonna get to start sowing all my onions a lot earlier. Do you know? Last year I sowed Ailsa Craig sort of September, October time. And they came out to some really decent sized onions grown from seed, planted out into the garden. Yeah, so they did really good. Apart from the ones, I had loads of other really good solid plants, but then my chickens, baby chicks, ate them all. I think the Murphins would love to meet up with you in the clan. I know I would. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. We're not too far away actually. A rough hand is a man's hand. Yeah, they're rough hands. They're badly rough at the minute. Absolutely. If you haven't hit that like, guys, please hit that like as you're coming in, and if anyone can share this video, share the stream out as well, that'd be good. So doing good, taking every day a step at a time. So if anyone doesn't know Blue Self-Reliance as well, she was on TV. She's a famous TV star now. She was on TV a couple of weeks ago. Really great episode. I meant to give you a shout out about it earlier, but yeah, really great episode. Really, yeah, you're awesome. You're an absolute natural. So the chat is lovely, by the way. Brave the chili. It's not supposed to be that hot. See, it's hot. See, I call it hot, but not too hot. But yeah. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it though. It's tasty stuff though, isn't it? No blight just seems to be getting cold. Surprisingly, the ones in the greenhouse haven't done as well this year. My first year of winter planting, I had no idea so many things. Yeah, there's so many things you can still be planting, and I'd be getting as much planted as I could. Farzana Tajamul, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. So the onions in July, start the sets in September, folks. See, I've never started them. I've never sowed onions that early before. Just been very busy with the new projects. Hope all is well. Graham, thanks very much for the like and the share. Appreciate it. So good to see you. May Allah Karim grant you Ajri Azim. Amin ya Rabbul Alamin. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, we're live every Friday. So every Friday about 8 o'clock. It's supposed to be 8 o'clock, but I'm always late. But hopefully one day I'll get that timekeeping right. But I'm here every Friday. I won't get flu this year with the chili achar. It'll keep your nose clear. It'll keep you free from being bunged up. So if you don't know what we're talking about with the achar, so we make homemade achar with a lot of our homegrown ingredients as well. It's not 100% homegrown because obviously I can't get olive oil and then I can't the amount of mustard that I need and some of the other bulking chilies as well. We get that, but there's chilies that are grown from my garden that are included in there, and it's all organic as well. So if you haven't tried it, here's the link to it. So do go and check it out. Yeah, it's some good stuff. I got my garlic in the ground a bit early, but better than never. Oh, the thing is, I think getting garlic in the ground now is perfectly fine. If I had the time and I had the space, I'd do it. I'd probably go for it this weekend. but by the time I get around to it, I think it's going to be about the second week of October, just because I can't get my beds cleared fast enough and I can't get enough time out there. But anywhere between now and then, I think is sort of now and the end of October is a really good time to do it, especially the further north you are. So I did a project last year about growing garlic, sort of September, October time, and then planting garlic in on the shortest day and harvesting on the longest day. And the harvests were absolutely pathetic. You know, from the harvesting on the shortest day, and they just didn't do well at all. They really struggled. The harvest was probably down by about 50%, so quite poor compared to what it is. So I'm learning so much. I'm glad you're learning. I made a big jar of achar this summer. So I've got my car. Oh, wicked. Yeah, see, that cardboard method really does work. It is a bit time consuming cutting the holes out. So, I'm looking for a fast way of cutting those holes out. That'd be good. I tried a hole saw on a cordless drill, but unless the cardboard's really thick, it just ends up ripping the rest of it to bits. And I tried wetting it as well. And again, when you're crawling about on top of it, you end up with a soggy backside. And again, you end up ripping the cardboard to bits. So it is a bit of a slow process, just cutting it with a knife. But if there's a faster way, I'd be up for that. So experiment, people, and feedback to me on a faster way of making those holes. You're going to use your charging. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. See, we're filming that tomorrow, so we're filming tomorrow and then edit and out on Sunday for that last chance cook off. And if you don't know anything about what we're talking about, there's a collaboration going on between about 50 channels. I think might be even more, and they're all doing an outdoors cooking video. So I'll be doing an outdoors cooking video with some of the produce from the garden. So hopefully you'll be able to join in and see what we're doing. Has anyone else noticed that turmeric has increased in price in the shops by more than 200%? Any thoughts? I think, you know, a lot of produce coming over from India, and that if it is the turmeric you're talking about is from India, a lot from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh has just really doubled in value. The shipping costs have gone up massively because we get a lot of fish from there. We get a lot of vegetables that are from Bangladesh. Vegetables we cut down on buying, but just looking around and looking at the prices, it's just the fuel costs have really pushed everything up. And also, you know, there's restrictions on imports as well. Certain things that have been in the soil have to stay in quarantine for longer before they can even be packed up and imported. Yeah, it's a bit funny sometimes. I remember a few years ago, do you know, if you've ever had Bombay duck, they banned the imports of Bombay duck, and everyone was up in arms because they banned the imports of Bombay duck. Restaurants couldn't get them, and the prices just shot up. And the thing about these things is when prices go up, they go up by, if prices double, when they come down, even if the wholesale price has gone down really low to before they doubled, or even back to a level of when they doubled, they only come down by a lot less. So if you look at fuel, I mean, fuel went up to nearly £2 for a litre, and now it's at 180, and people are sort of settled with 180 because they've got this massive price reduction from £2 instead of paying 160 and 170. So it's still higher than what it was, but yeah. Ross Evans, mate, thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Many of the herbs and spices that Guru price are going to make, definitely worth growing your own and drying it for yourself. Could you not use a bulb planter for the garlic, mate? I thought about it, but they're still quite blunt. You know that they're a bit blunt to pierce through the cardboard. Someone suggested sharpening one and trying that, but I mean, I haven't got a bulb planter, so I'd have to buy one just for it. I have spreadsheets of prices for the last 2 years of everything we get. I spend hours searching online for the best prices now. Watch this channel for the best turmeric and ginger. There you go. That's a good advert. So I paid £1.57 for petrol yesterday on Dewsbury Road. Thought it was my birthday. So totally jaded. Are you from Leeds? Okay. See, I drive a diesel and I'm paying 183 at the minute. Why do you cover your garlic with cardboard? So there's a number of reasons that I do it. Have a look at the video that I've done on growing cardboard, but there's a number of reasons that I do it. One is that it acts like a weed barrier, and because it's garlic is a long season crop. It's really susceptible for a lot of weeds growing up, especially early spring and just taking over. And it acts like a weed barrier. It acts like a layer of mulch. It's good for the soil. There's lots of reasons for it. It just gives the garlic a good space to grow without a lot of competition. So there's lots of reasons for it there. Try running your hole saw in reverse. It shouldn't shred as much. Okay. Well, I'll give that a try and see what happens. Yes, my allotment is Old Lane. Okay. Okay, so you're local, and that's good. There's one other I think there's one or two locals that watch the channel. Apart from that, I'm always interested in meeting locals. This summer growth of vegetables was not good in my garden. If you can give some advice to have some, what were you growing? So tell us what you were trying to grow and where you're based as well. Good dog, how are you doing, mate? Long time no see. Hope all is good. And Alan's joined us from Northern Ireland. Hope everything's good with you. I spent 30 years of my life in Leeds and loved it. Now it's all one-way system, stresses me out. They're even making the little terrace roads, the houses with the terrace houses on them. They're even turning them into one ways now, and that's a real stress. Because around Hare Hills they've done it to loads of streets, and if you go up one, and the thing is they never finish the job. So there's no signpost to say which one's one way and which ones are open and which one's not. So if you go up one thinking that it's open, and then you get to the top and you're stuck. And because they're narrow streets, you've got nowhere to turn, so you're reversing back down, and then back onto a really busy road. So who's gonna Malvern on Sunday? I'm not heading. I can't make it this year. I enjoyed it the first time. I've only ever been once, but I'd like to go down again, but I can't make it this year. Just struggling with the time. Ashley's allotment adventures. I don't know when you came in, but I think I missed you. I hope you're keeping well, mate. I grew fantastic weeds while in hospital harvest. Gardening. I wish Tony said gardening, but I wasn't naughty today. Your food festival. I spent all my time in the. Oh, there must have been something earlier. I saw you put. I must have missed that. I lived on the roadworks 2 minutes from Hare Hills, mate. So yeah, I just live off Easterly Road. So if you know that area, then yeah, I'm not far at all. So you're from Roma, Italia. So you should have some fantastic weather for growing vegetables. So is your soil quite sandy, or what's your soil like? Tell me about your soil, um, and what kind of vegetables are you trying to grow? Because most of Italy, unless you're really high up, um, most of Italy should give you some really good growing conditions. So basic instructions for any garden is work on your soil. Build that soil, build fertility in your soil, and you don't have to do it in a really expensive way. In the UK, there's horse riding stables quite common. They have to get rid of all the horse muck. They'll give you the horse muck for free, so that's a really good source of soil improver and fertilizer. And I don't think there's anything like large animal manure to improve soil, the structure of soil, make compost from. It's just amazing stuff. If you can get hold of any sort of grass clippings, wood chippings, and just mulch heavily with that, and now's the time to be adding all of that and letting your soil improve. Ideally with manure, if you're going to add that, then it's good to add it now and then cover it with, say, cardboard, and then by the time it comes to spring, that'll all have broken down. And then the reason that you're going to layer it with cardboard is you're going to protect it from all the rains, especially if you're near waterways, because what can happen with a lot of adding nitrogen in wintertime, or adding nitrogen sources to your soil in wintertime, when the rains come down, it washes all that nitrogen out of the soil. And then, especially if you're near waterways, it just pollutes the waterways. So if you cover it, you're just protecting it a little bit. And that's one of the same things that I'd say about compost as well. Because when you add compost, remember, compost can get eroded, and when it gets washed into streams and washed into other places, it can act as a pollutant. Obviously, it's not the same as fossil fuel fertilizers, but it does have that effect. So my cousin lived on roadworks years ago. We used to drink in the Dog and Gun. Rookwood. I'm reading that Roadworks. I don't know why I'm reading it Roadworks. Rookwoods. There you go. I'm reading it Roadworks. I've got. So I went out. These glasses. These are the very first glasses I ever got. So they're about 20 years old. I went to the opticians on Wednesday, and because I'm struggling to see out the current glasses, then they're just not working as well. And I went to the opticians, and they've given me a prescription back to these, because apparently my eyes have got better. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know your eyes could get better, but apparently it's really common and people's eyes get better. So I'm back to the prescription I was on 20 years ago. Yeah. I know that well. I've lived Rookwoods and Seacrofts. Someone had to. So we've got a few people who are local. Then see, I've always. There's been very few people who watch the channel that are local. It's nice to have some of you in. That's good. Do you have more problems with slugs using the wood chips? Load of info saying that. See, I've not noticed a massive problems with slugs from using the wood chips. I've seen problems with slugs from using, from branches and other things that are laying down in the garden, but the wood chips themselves aren't a major issue. Do you like the edging for the beds? They can be a problem, and I use a lot of logs and a lot of things like that for edgings for beds. They can be a problem. They have been a problem, but so I'm constantly turning them around and moving them about. I might even be getting rid of some this year. We'll see. I've lived in Gipton and Seacross. So totally jaded. See, I just live on this side of Eastleigh Road, so yeah, Gipton. I know Gipton very well. Absolutely, guys, hit that like if you haven't already done so. Tony, you at Malvern this weekend? Um, gonna have to catch the replay. Blue, you take it easy, and we'll see you again. You go and get yourself some rest, and we'll see you again soon. So if you eat a lot of carrot in your eyes, may improve. I don't know. They've yeah. See, carrots make my eyes improve, but yeah, I just don't. I don't get it. Optician said the same to me this week. He mentioned spending time outdoors helps, which I've been doing a lot. Ah, that's interesting. See, what she said to me was people when they hit 40, their eyes get better. I was like, eh? I was like, that don't make sense. People when they hit 40, their eyes are supposed to get worse. But apparently that's what she said to me, that it is very common. Have a whole day. Soil is hard. I have to work hard on it. Alhamdulillah. Every year harvest was very good. Subhanallah, this year it was different. How was? Did you have good amounts of water this year? See, you have sun all day. So the most important thing I'd say for you is loads of mulch. And it also depends on what you're trying to grow. I was going till this morning, and it's my daughter's birthday. See, did you know that before? Saying that, I got stuck on Zaki's birthday when I was at the opticians because he's got his first pair of glasses, and they asked me for his date of birth. I got the first bit right, and then it was the second bit that I got. And then I was like, what year was he born in? So, do you all have daylight savings time in the UK? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, end of when do the clocks go back? Is it September? I'm sure it's September, isn't it? So, clocks will probably go back end of this month as well, won't they? And then you lose another hour. I worked at the show for 17 months, 17 years. Forgot it was this. Graham, you've done a lot of things, man. You're from Leeds and you worked at Malvern. I was thinking, one day maybe 30th of October. There you go. It's not September. I was thinking, next year maybe a few of these shows, try and get a stall at a few of these shows to sell our pickles. Just need to work out. Yeah. So yeah, no simplify. So is there any live links to Malvern? I don't know. You can follow some of the stuff on Twitter, and I know the RHS, they've got their own RHS Malvern or Three Counties show Twitter account, and they always post up regular videos and but they're all short clips. I've never seen a full a full live, a full live stream of the whole event. Are you changing the way you grow this year due to cold weather predictions? I think in the winter, I'm not gonna grow a lot of. I'm not gonna try and keep the greenhouse heated this year. I'm hoping for some cold this year. I want a whole cold, harsh winter, because we haven't had a cold, harsh winter for a few years. The good thing is about a cold, harsh winter, it'll help kill off a lot of the bugs and a lot of pests in the garden. So it'll kill off rats and mice and these kind of things, and it'll help stabilize the garden a little bit. So I'm hoping for something, and so I'm not going to be putting anything out. I'm not going to be going for an elaborate heating system in the garden like I do every year. So this year, whatever I can overwinter in the house, I'll overwinter, but the garden's on its own. That's pretty much my attitude. But I'm not making any drastic changes. I want that cold to hit the ground. When do you start your chilies? I normally start them in about December, November, December time. I normally start them. Go and have a look at my chili planting video. And bottle gourds next year. Bottle gourds are way off. You're at least waiting for about 6 months. Sarah, thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Wanting up here me the show about the shows. What I do, mate. I do 52. You do 52 Baba? Shows a year. Wow.
Baba?
Yes, what is?
You know, PD. We had to team up, and we had to
excuse you.
One of us, we have to pair up, and one of us had to use a bib as a tail, like a pretend tail, and the other had to chase us around and try get it. But there was only in a certain amount of space, we had to be in.
So did you have fun?
Yeah.
Good.
It took ages for Carl to get me. He didn't even actually get me.
Oh, fantastic.
I just gave up because I got bored.
So just one second. So visited the Isle of Wight last weekend. Beautiful greenery, lots of farming going on from what I could see, and nice. See, Sarfraz, you should have got some garlic. Isle of Wight is famous for its garlic. It would have been a good place to get some garlic seedlings.
I think the string off your phone.
Can you put it back on? Put in the mini digger to bed. Man, squash bugs were. See, this is what I mean. You know, sometimes we've had a really mild winter for the last few years, and it's a lot of bugs have been overwintering really comfortably, and I just want a really harsh winter to deal with some of them. Tony's asking, who are you? So you got Little Farmer's Farm asking who you are. So this is my eldest and my heir. Yeah. I've emptied my polytunnel. Chickens living in there now. Feels like a long time until spring. See, that's a nice one. That's a nice move. That you know, when you put your chickens in the polytunnel, do you put all the bedding directly on the floor as well, and let them just rot everything down? So I need to strip my garden down though. I'm the same, Tony. I've got to clean the garden up. There's loads of stuff that I want to change in the garden, and I still need to build that man cave. You know, I still need to build my shed. Yeah. A king in waiting. There you go. See, that's a great idea. You know, putting loads of just compost everything in your polytunnel. That's a fantastic idea. And then when it comes to spring, you've already got either you can grow straight into it, or you can harvest some of that stuff and use it around the rest of the garden. Yeah, absolutely love that. I really love that. Next year, my next door neighbour is of the option that due to COVID-19, harvest is not good. What do you think? I don't think COVID-19 is going to affect the harvest. I think the lack of rain would have. I think a lot of countries across Europe, I know across Europe, suffered with the lack of rain. So that's probably one of the biggest issues. I'm building my poly house over the next month or so. I've been hoping to have it done already for winter crops, but
don't tell.
Yeah, all of these projects, they always take ages. They always take way longer than expected. Are you building a polytunnel, or when you say poly house, what you doing? My neighbour is rude. Ali, what's going on? What's Dave? I think you're I don't know what's going on with about your neighbour Ali. My compost will raise it. Okay. Yeah. See what that that really gets to me. That that really gets to me. The compost will raise the temperature in the polytunnel over the winter too. Absolutely. If you ever need a hand, give me a. There you go. Graham's volunteering over there. See, doesn't like me because I don't look white enough.
Why are these guys still here? Oh, why are you doing damage?
See, wood frame rather than poly. See, why are glass greenhouses so expensive? Glass greenhouses.
Oh no!
Well, they're charging a lot for the glass, and then glass greenhouses normally come in hard. Please turn that off, please. They either come in, aluminium frames, or they come in that, a nice, really nice, the wooden frames, and they just because they sell them as a premium product, they just get away with, putting price up. But I don't think to manufacture they're anywhere near what they sell them for. I made my greenhouse, and the twin wall polycarbonate was quite expensive, but the rest of it was really cheap. Most of the wood I got for free. It was recycled wood. I was thinking about using glass, but glass panels just would have been too expensive, and double glazing units would have been too expensive. And then you've got the risk of, if I went for single glaze and the kids would have ended up smashing it, then you've got a toughened glass, and then it just gets into a hole that you're digging yourself into. But I think a lot of these products, because they're selling it to a select audience that wants them, and people are willing to pay, they just cash in. That's what I think anyway. So again, what would you favour to grow over winter months, mate? See, a lot of the sort of Asian salad greens, they're really good to grow, and they're really hardy, and they come up really well. If you plant them now, you'll get harvests through the winter. Sort of by the end of October, they'll have established themselves, and they'll keep creeping up. Even in low light conditions, because they're brassicas, they do well in low light. So a lot of pak choys, sort of komatsumas, um, Mizuna, Mabuna is really good. And the Amsoy is getting a little bit late to grow. It does a little bit earlier. What else is there? Grow your onions for next year. Spinach, you're still not too late. Overwintering carrots, you're still not too late. There's still loads to get going.
Whoa.
So I'm gonna work on a greenhouse this winter if I have the time. See, what I wanted to do is we had our windows replaced a couple of years ago, and I've got the glass units. So we've got all the glass units saved. And what I was hoping to build was sort of I've got a concrete base on one side. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to build a concrete base on there. I wanted to build a shed where I can chill out and maybe put a weight bench, and then build like a conservatory attached to that. And then I could have my greenhouse plants in there and have a little wood fire in my playroom, and then yeah, so it'd be like a greenhouse / playroom for me. And then if my wife ever kicks me out, I can live in the greenhouse. Mark Bull, I love your channel. I just wish I had more time to grow as much as you do. Mark, do you dig your soil? See, that's my question. Do you dig your soil? Free means you've been skip diving. I'm always skip diving. So my old roof, my neighbour's roof, when they had theirs done, there was a down the road. There was a set of houses that had been converted into flats. They had their roofs done, so I brought all the wood home. Every time I see anyone having any woodwork done, I'm just fetching it all back. That's why I'm looking forward to have it. I used to have a tow bar on my old car, on my red Volvo, and I used to love that. I used to go everywhere just picking up stuff, and then I had a lot of car issues over the because someone crashed into that while it was parked outside my house, and wrote it off, and so I had a lot of car problems. But hopefully I'll get a tow bar fitted on this car, and then we can start skip diving properly again. So what is Mabuna? Mabuna is it's a salad leaf. It grows. It's not spinach, but it's a brassica. It's like, if you like pak choi, you like Mabuna. It's a little bit milder in taste as well. You can do a full 8x6 greenhouse for less than 100 quid. Yeah. What we £3.25 a sheet. For yeah, see, that's what I used. Clear 6mm. Did I use 6mm? I think I used 12mm twin wall polycarbonate, but I used a plastic shop down the road. So they're like a builder's plastic shop, and they do all sorts of plastics for builders, and that's what worked out to be cheapest. But my greenhouse was 3 meters by 2 meters across, so 3 meters long, 2 meters across, or was it 4 meters long? So it's a big old thing. It's a really big old thing. Would you plant spinach inside the polytunnel? So right now, if you've got space in your polytunnel, plant spinach, and you'll be able to harvest all winter. If you can get it established before it gets really cold, you'll be able to have some pickings all the way through. I planted carrots, radishes, and mustard greens with very little germination so far. Give it a little bit of heat. Make sure the carrots are moist and sort of warm. Mustard, make sure they're moist. Give them a little bit of heat. They'll come up really quick. Radishes, I just leave them. I just leave the radishes as they are, and just watch out for the slugs getting them. That's the only thing. You know, when a lot of things are germinating now, especially outside, we sometimes think that they're not germinated, but they've germinated, but the slugs have got them. How much grow space do you have in your garden? So from my front gate to my back gate, we've got a big garden. Alhamdulillah, we've got a very big garden. It's 50 meters from our front gate to our back gate, from our front fence to our back fence. And then you've got the house on top of that, and then I probably use about a third of the garden. Yeah. So what breed of chickens do you like to keep? So I've got a few breeds of chickens. Most of them are mixed breeds. I've got very few pure breeds. The red laying hens are absolutely amazing. They're not the prettiest of chickens, but they've got the personalities are really good. They're really good around the family. They're really pleasant to be around. They don't jump up and down as soon as you walk into the cage. I got a couple of eggs from one of my friends last year that I hatched out, and they were leg bar crosses. So leg bars are quite flighty birds. So whenever you go in, they're flapping about all over the place, and they do that. They panic really. They panic really a lot as soon as I go in, even though we've been holding them since they were babies. But silkies are really nice chickens for families as well. Really, really good family chickens. And Polish bantams as well. Who's not going to like a Polish bantam just for the sake of having one in your flock? They look too cool, especially if you got like a frazzle Polish bantam. It's just absolutely wicked. They look amazing. Crested cream leg bars for blue eggs. I had one. I want to get another one. My neighbour's dog got into our garden a couple of years ago and ate my crested cream leg bar.
No, not the case.
There we go. Here comes the noise. There you go. So, Dan Simmons, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. Do you have another Volvo? I have got another Volvo. I've finally got another Volvo, because I like Volvos. I had a Nissan in the middle, and that thing almost bankrupted me. I bought the Nissan. What have you done to the screen? Okay, it's just gone blurry. I don't know what you've done. I don't know what you've done, buddy. You've done something to it. Is it just gone blurry? Because I can see it's just gone blurry all of a sudden. No, it's not my glasses. But you've done something. You caused some trouble. But, yeah, someone wrote my Volvo off, and then I got a Nissan. And then after about a month of having that Nissan, the engine exploded. It just died, and I pretty much lost half the money I paid for the car, and yeah, it took me a while to recover from that. Go on, tell everyone.
We went to Bangladesh.
When did you go to Bangladesh? 6 months ago. I'm way behind in the chat. There you go. Everyone's saying hello to you. It's blurred. I don't know why it's gone blurry. But something's happened, and Zaki's done something. Well, you haven't. Something's happened. All right. I don't know what's happened. Something's happened. Yeah. we're gonna have to call it a night here. We've passed the 1 hour mark anyway, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. Thanks everyone for coming in and having a chat. We'll call it a day here. I'll see you again next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I don't. Oh, there you go. It's gone good again now.